Food, yay! No food in your body, no food, new groove. That's what we're talking about. No food, new groove. You know why? Because our bodies are optimized for a fasting state. When you water fast, you will find yourself having new clarity of mind, new experience of emotional purging, new connections with your spirit, and of course, you're going to shed pounds. You're going to get yourself into a more optimized state because of the autophagy that is happening in your body. For those of you who don't know, we are huge proponents of water fasting. Do not water fast unless you have checked with your doctor. That is the disclaimer. This is for entertainment value only, right? But if you are looking for a huge shift or transformation, water fasting is for most. It is not for everybody. Yay!
Oh, Dolo.
Love it.
So glad you'll be joining us.
Love that you'll be joining us. It is so amazing. And you just take this food out of your system and you realize how much we rely on food when we get into spaces where we are uncomfortable, when we're stressed, when we are bored. We go to snacks, or we go to the coffee, or we go to sweets, or we go to saying, hey, I need to eat something, maybe fast food, or maybe even a meal. But it's all surrounded in this space of, I need to do this in order for me to just sustain myself. But that is not the truth. Yeah, entertainment will be my behavior on day 3, exactly, right? Yeah, so people just like, oh, I need a crunch in my fat. I feel bored, so I need to get to something. But that is the exercise. Who is in control here of our mind? Is it us? Or are we running on autopilot in our lives? Are we just in the machinery? Are we allowing that monkey mind to dictate how we feel, how we move through space, how we relate to our world? Because when we do that, it's easy to get off track. But when we take on a practice like water fasting, we reacclimate to the truth of who we are. Just as our ancestors had done for the hundreds of thousands of years, we get into our space of dialing into our spiritual selves, dialing into the truth of our existence as a spiritual being, and we connect to our own inherent health that is within.
I love it. I
Yes.
love it. And I love how the Waterfest really connects you with the essence of who you truly are and connects you to your own power. You know, I didn't know that I was an emotional eater. I didn't consider myself an emotional eater until I went on the water fast. And I realized, taking food out of the equation, how, like Kaleo said, how often I would go to a snack or a cup of coffee, and I looked at what was going on in those particular times for me emotionally when I would get the urge to go to one of those things. And when you're on the water fast, you have no choice but to just sit in whatever is going on for you emotionally. And it was in those little spaces, in those little nooks and crannies, that I was able to really take a deep look at what was really going on in those spaces and go in there and heal those spaces just by being with them and letting that energy, letting those emotions actually run through me instead of just stuffing them down with my little snacks or my coffee or whatever it was. But it really brought me to a space where I really learned to step into a whole new level of confidence, because I realized when I would feel a discomfort, I'd just go to that emotional eating or drinking or whatever it may be. So just I can't speak highly enough about the water fast, and what it's done for us in our lives. So
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Absolutely. And I see some people saying that they're doing fruit and nut fast. That's great if you fruit and nut fast or smoothie fast or just fruit. Those are all great. Water fasting is the deepest way to heal your body. That is where the autophagy actually happens. That is where all the precancerous cells, all the pre-diabetic cells, all of the amyloid plaques that cause Alzheimer's are not only just taken out in the waste, but are actually thrown through something called our lysosome protein within each of your bodies. And those cells that were damaged and will cause disease are recycled through that lysosome protein and create new brain cells and heart cells.
awesome.
Think about that. This is scientifically proven. This is magic. This is what is happening within our body temple. And when we take on the water fast, the autophagy ramps up. So those things that are within our body that we feed with food, or we feed with these processed things, or we feed with sugars and things of that nature, that they need to feed on these things in order for them to grow, in order for these weakened cells to create the disease in our body and the cancers and diabetes. Those things are recycled. Not only are they just expelled, they are recycled to create new brain cells and new heart cells. This seems like sci-fi magic, but it is what occurs within the body. This is not something that is a theory. This is scientifically proven and is a fact. So this is what is happening in your body when you take that on as a water fast. Now we have water fast track tips, which will give you the opportunity to set yourself up with your mindset, set yourself up with what minerals to put in the water, set yourself up with what water to take on. It'll set you up with videos. It'll set you up with testimonials from doctors. It'll set you up with all of that stuff. And we'll put that in the description so you have a leg up. So you have yourself going into a water fast empowered and ready to take that on. Now, for some people, the water fast may be just the breakfast. Maybe this might be the first time you've never eaten breakfast in your life, right? And we would applaud that. We'd say, great job. For some of you, it's going to be 18 hours. For some, it might be 24 hours that you do this fast. For some, you're going to take it on for longer. Some I see people saying 3 days. For other people, like myself, it might be 5 or 7. I'm going 7 days because that's what I'm used to at this point, and I absolutely love it. I'm so thankful for this. And one of my buddies just texted us right now about who had been resisting water fasting for years, and he said, "Well, I just don't do that. That's your thing." And I said, you know what? It might open up some channels to healing that you weren't aware of, because that's what it did for me. And finally, after years and years, decades of knowing this guy, he finally took on the water fast. And when he did, it changed his life. Somebody who was resistant to doing the water fast. And we understand there's a resistance, right? I'm supposed to eat is what most people say. What am I going to do? Where am I going to get my nutrition? Where am I going to get my energy? Your body is optimized for it. We must understand that the majority of our evolution, there were not grocery stores at the ready. This is just within the last 100 years, certainly, where we've had food where we could get it at the ready or go to a grocery store. For hundreds of thousands of years, we were hunting and gathering and trying to get our food, and there were long spans where we didn't have any food coming into our bodies. So over that period of time, we were optimized in order for us to heal during these fasting processes. So for my buddy who took it on, he finally did the water fast, and it healed up these ailments, these physical ailments that he had been dealing with for years. One was completely eradicated, one was diminished significantly. So if you're dealing with things, sometimes I've seen people with autoimmune diseases wiped out. And sometimes I've seen people who have had the claims of cancer that have been absolutely wiped out. True North is a center up in Northern California that actually helps people with water fasting. If you're looking for a deeper, more profound and a clinical setting, you might want to look at True North if you're dealing with something that is a real physical ailment where a doctor said we haven't been able to figure it out and we haven't been able to get beyond it. Or if you're dealing with maybe obesity, and you're trying to figure out, man, I need something to just get me into a new stage, or the doctor's saying if I don't change things, I'm going to die here. Look at True North if you don't want to take it on yourself. This is a clinical setting where they have been able to heal things like cancer and things like these morbid obesities, and heal diabetics in these profound ways. So if you are, thank you, Heather, appreciate it. So if you are ready to take that on, if you're ready to have a quantum leap, if you're ready to have a transformation, this is the best deal going. Water only. Okay, this is the best deal that you're going to.
Most expensive.
Yeah, it is not going to be expensive for you. You take out food out of the equation for 7 days. Well, for me 7 days, but it might be for you again. Maybe it's just 12 hours.
Yeah, that was a question that someone posed, how many days? And that really depends on each individual person. Like Kaleo always does 7 days. I used to do 7 days, and then on my last fast, my body literally said, like, I got the message, like, I'm really supposed to do 3 days, and 3 days is like perfect for me. So it just really depends. It really depends on where you are and how you're feeling.
Yeah, and so if you are taking on the fast, also understand you must listen to your body. We don't take this on lightly, and fasting is not for everyone. Please, you must understand this. Some people have physical ailments where they should not be doing a water fast, but it is for most people. So we always say, check with your doctors, although you might have to educate your doctor on water fasting because many of them don't even know what that is. I had these encounters with my general practitioner. My doctor, I'd go in there and tell them I was going to do a water fast. They thought I was absolutely crazy. Then they saw after 7 days, I come back and see them and they see how healthy I am. They see how much energy that I have and they're like blown away. They're like, give me more information about this. This is my doctor. So they don't teach them these things in medical school. This is not part of the protocol because it's not, if you want to go deeper into it, it's not part of how they're actually going to make money to keep us healthy. Okay, and when we are in a space of the medical establishment, how it's actually created, at least in the Western world, is not to keep you, not to prevent anything. It's to deal with things as they come up, and there's a space for that. There's utility for that. If I break a wrist, I want to have a cast. If something happens where I have to have a surgery, or I hit my head and I need someone to take care of me for something that's an acute issue like that, then absolutely Western medicine. But for some of the things, we need to do things that are preventative, like water fasting, which have been around for thousands of years. It's in all of the holy books. All of these holy books talk about fasting as a way to connect with your spirit, as a way to connect with source, as a way to tap into your internal power. This is something that has been around for thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. But this is what we are offering here right now, is to be able to dive in that way. Always listen to your body. Always listen to your body. Because like she said, I usually do 7 days. But sometimes I get to day 5 and I'm like, it's time to come off. Or it might be day 6. Or it might be day 3. But generally I do 7 days, but always listen to your body. What is my body telling me? How can I get in tune with this beautiful vessel, your beautiful vessel? It is a beautiful healing machine. It wants to heal. It's about healing. That is why you are experiencing this life, for us to be able to heal this physical body, have that mind, body, soul connection, and thrive. Live an optimized life. And water fasting is just one of those ways. So if you are inspired, we're going to say sure.
Well, there's a couple more questions too. So I think Belinda asked about a heavy workout, and then Dolo also asked about, can you still work out? And again, listen to your body, because every body is different. For myself, I tend to just do light workouts. Just that's what my body is seeking. More yoga, gentle walks, things of that nature. Kaleo's body can go out there and play like full court basketball, and that's fine with him. So I would just tune into your body and see how it feels. Yeah,
you'll find, the first day, if you can get into a sauna, they start to sweat out some of that and empty the glycogen reserves. You start to have a deeper fast faster. You could do some cardio on the first day. I've done full court basketball up to day 4. And that's a little bit challenging for me because I'm going all the way full out. But 4 days of not having food and being able to do that was a testament to what I'm able to do. And what really, I'm not special. Everybody has the ability. We just sometimes have to work up to that. So, Belinda, if you're thinking about,
I think you're special.
We're all special, okay? But if you say for you, Belinda, if you're saying you do these workouts, you want to, like Mika said, just listen to your body. Are you capable of it? Where is your mindset as you're going in? What do you feel that you are capable of? And then when you get there and you start to do the workout, how does it feel? Tap in. Don't even tell the person who you're working out with, that or your trainer, that you're on a water fast, because they might not have an understanding or a connection to water fasting, and they might just say, well, you shouldn't be doing this. But you do not. She's asking if you have bowel movements every day. So if not, what do you do? Okay. So the first day you'll have probably your regular bowel movements, for maybe the second day. But after that, you want to start to implement some enemas. And for people who have never done an enema before, It's
Yes,
fantastic.
we're on Facebook
Yeah,
Live
exactly.
talking about enemas.
Yeah, exactly. I remember before I did any enemas, I was like, dude, I am not doing an enema. Why would you even have me talking about this, thinking about this? No, thank you. And then I had my first enema, and I was like, holy moly, this is like, where was this been all my life? Where have you been all my life, enema? And then and when you're on the water fast, you do have the opportunity to do a coffee enema. And we'll also share that with people. Yes, I'll try and see. Oh, beautiful. And when you do those coffee enemas, they are absolutely incredible. It doesn't break your fast. You're still in your fasting cycle, and it gets out all of that stuff that's in here. And here's the beautiful part is because when you're fasting within the body, we have we still have in our colon that we still have waste in there that has been stuck in there, sometimes in the polyps for years. So we need to be able to cleanse that out. That's another thing that the water fast does. And when you do a coffee enema, you will realize how much stuff is in there, even when you haven't fed yourself for days and days and days. And you figure to yourself, how is there still something in there? Why is there still something in my body? It's because we're still holding all of that waste in there. And until we start to expel that by doing water fast and by doing a coffee enema, then it stays in there. It gets stuck in these polyps, and that can also cause disease. So there's so many benefits that we do that have the opportunity. How much water a day? That will all be in the water fast. You can do up to a gallon. Some people do 2-3 liters. You know, you want to drink enough, but there is a chance of drinking too much, right? If you're around a gallon, you know, you're generally going to be pretty good, but you don't have to go too much over that. But again, listen to your body. We can go into dry fasting too. Sometimes I've dry fasted where you don't have any food or water. And science has proven that that's even a deeper fast, but I don't recommend that for people just getting started. You want to get yourself, just have the water, ease yourself into it. Getting your mind ready for Monday. That's right, sister. I'll give you the water fast track tips. Those will be incredible. I look forward to whoever joins us on this journey. It is unbelievable. You're going to absolutely love it. It has changed our lives. It's been some of the most profound experiences that we've had. I put it right up there with my deepest meditations, my deepest plant medicine, ayahuasca ceremonies, mushroom ceremonies, or any of that, or any spiritual connection that I've had. Water fasting is at the pinnacle with all the rest of those things. So I offer that. If you are healthy enough, if you are ready, then let's go. Let's do this. You are strong enough to do it. You are capable of doing it. And you have the mindset and the strength in order to follow through on this decision. We will support you through that. I'm going to be doing a masterclass on Monday about water fasting for anybody who is interested in taking a deeper dive. That'll be our first day. And if you haven't even started on Monday, if you go in the deep dive, you say, oh, I'm going to join them like the next day, you can do that, or the day after. Okay. So I think it's going to be right around noon, Della. Love you, sister. So yeah, we'll be going live for sure, probably every day on this. And we just want to inspire people to live into your best life. That's what we're all about. The things that have worked for us, we want to just share with you because it's really made a big difference. Can I do hape? Good question, right, Belinda? I've done that before.
Me too.
I've done hape when I'm on it. We'll see how it is right now, but I have actually experienced that on a daily as I'm going through the water fast. So yes, you can, and it won't break the fast.
It doesn't break the fast.
Yeah. So that being said, if you are inspired, join us. It's going to be incredible. Starting this Monday, I'm so fired up.
Me
I'm
too.
so excited.
I'm looking forward to
I
it.
know there's going to be huge breakthroughs as always. And it's going to be something that is going to change our lives as it always does. We send you so much love, light, and aloha. If you have any questions, please just reach out to us, comment here, or reach out to us in the DM. We'd be happy to answer any questions. That being said, we just love everybody. We just want the best for you. Sending you love, light, and aloha for an incredible weekend, an incredible rest of your life, really. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye, guys.